Okay, I'm live. Okay, great. Oh, I'm always so nervous to go live, okay? Make sure I look okay. Okay, so right now I'm going live, and I know that it takes, oh, look at the camera. I know it takes some time for people to get in the room. So I'm just going to talk as if I'm speaking to those who are watching this like as a replay. And I watch live replays all the time. I'm still trying to figure out a good day for me to actually go live. Like, granted, I don't even know how often I want to go live. Or I guess like what's the perfect day of the week to go live or what's the perfect time of the week to go live. I'm still trying to figure all that out. So I guess if you are watching the replay, it would be really helpful if you could let me know like um what days would you think would be a good day for me to go live, or what days would you want to see someone go live, and like what time of day would be really helpful, just so I can know like, you know, when people would probably be available to join the live. So yeah, but this live is just really about talking about what's going on in the garden. There's a lot going on, or maybe not a lot going on. I know that some areas are still like having that like odd spring slash a little bit of winter weather. We kind of had that not this month, but like the end of last month, so the end of April. And if you know anything about Memphis, you know that sometimes our weather can be really just, I wouldn't say chaotic. I would say it can change drastically overnight. So we did have some weather where it was like one day was 80 degrees, and then the next day, the next night, it had got to 40 degrees. So, and then like this past week, we had a lot of storms. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. And I see there's a couple people in the room. Hi, people. You can comment if you feel like you want to wait, you know what? Am I even looking at the right thing? I'm still learning how to use this StreamYard. I'm like, let me see. Okay. Wait a minute. Show. Wait a minute. I'm still learning how to use StreamYard. But anyway, hi people that are in the room. But yeah, I was just talking about, this video was really just going to be about speaking about what's going on in our gardens or what's not going on in our gardens. And I was mentioning that the weather has been a big factor in like what all you can do in the garden right now. So basically, I did put my plants out in my garden probably at mid-April, but I don't know. Next year, after talking to my dad, I may not put my things out in my garden until probably May. Like probably not until May 1st, because we did have some chilly like temperatures at night. It basically got down to about 40 degrees one night. Now this was back in April, but tonight I think it's going to get down to 50. So, you know, that's not as warm as I'd like it to be. It could be worse, but it's not as warm as I'd like it to be. So, yeah, I think next time I'll just get my plants in the ground primarily around May 1st, even though things could still happen. This is Memphis. But the storms this past week and last week were quite serious. And I know that some people probably had it so much worse. I didn't really have it too bad in regards to the storms in my area. Um, we just had lots of wind, primarily at night. So I was worried about that and just trying to make sure that my plants didn't get, hurt or anything, and that like especially with my tomatoes, some of my tomatoes are quite tall, not really tall, that they're large enough to where I have to have a trellis for them. So some of my tomatoes are tall enough to where they have to be on a trellis. So I wanted to make sure that um the storm didn't like hurt them, knock on wood. So that was good. So yeah, that's just the first thing I want to talk about, was just the storms and how the storms can really impact everyone. And I hope everyone, honestly, I really hope everyone was safe in the midst of all these storms. I hope that everyone, not just our gardens made it through the night, but which is also important. I do hope your plants made it through the night, because we work really hard to get our plants together, whether you start them inside your home or whether you start them from seed or by transplants. We work really, really hard on our garden. So I hope the storm didn't mess up your garden too much. Um, but I also hope that you made it through the night safely, regardless, because I know that these storms can be so scary. Some places have tornadoes. It's very, very frightening. So I really hope you all made it okay. So another topic that I want to speak of is, and again, I'm speaking more so to the people that are watching this as the replay. So you could put anything in the comments if you have, like, if I'm discussing something that you like or just want to add to the conversation, just feel free to put it in the comments. But what would you say is something that went well in regards to planning for this upcoming growing season? And what would you say is something that, I'm not going to say went wrong, because going, like, the word wrong makes me feel like it's just there's nothing to learn from it. So what would you say went well for this, for planning for this upcoming growing season, and what do you think didn't go as planned when preparing for this upcoming growing season? So I'll go first. Um what went well? Mm, Last year, I planted some echinacea plants. I planted some of them from seed, and some of them I got from a local nursery. And I'm completely shocked by how tall they have gotten. If I could learn how to, like, add pictures or something, I wish I could, like, show you a picture of what I'm talking about on my screen. I'm still learning, of course, but basically, excuse me, I planted some echinacea plants last spring, some from seeds, some from as like transplants from a local nursery. And yeah, last year they got about as tall as my, maybe like right past my knee, right at my knee in regards to how tall the plant was. So not really tall at all. And then of course echinacea plants are perennial, so they'll die back at the end of the season and then they'll come right back. Well, they won't come right back. They'll die back in like fall and winter, and then they'll come back in the spring. And so these echinacea plants actually started to come back when it was still like winter, but it was starting to warm up. And they started to grow, and they started to grow, and they started to grow. And now, I kid you not, my echinacea plants are almost as tall as me. They're almost right on my chest and almost as tall as me. That's how tall the plant is. And I'm about 5'3", 5'3", 5'4". So these are really tall. They're really, really, really tall. So yeah, oh sorry, this message texting me. But yeah, so that's something that I think is going super, super well. Is just my echinacea plants, and the fact that I didn't have to worry about replanting them, or re-sowing them, or buying some more transplants. Like, they just came back on their own, and I kid you not, they're almost as tall as me. And I promise you, I never thought that an echinacea plant could get almost as tall as like a sunflower. And I wish I could show you a picture, but I probably could have put a picture on the screen, but I don't know how to do that yet. So that's one thing that went super well. Another thing that went well, mm, things that went well. A lot of things. I'd say my watermelons. I started some watermelons well, they're all started from seed. I started some watermelons inside of my home during the winter. So I started them a little early, and then I transplanted them outside. And then I also started some directly from seed, as in I direct sowed it into the ground. And I think it's going quite well. The ones, I will say, the watermelons that were directly sowed into the ground are doing better than the watermelons that were transplanted. And I kind of knew that. When you read online, people always say that it's better to direct sow melons than to transplant them. So I do agree with that. Granted, the weather is still like warming up. So once it's like consistently warm, and when I say consistently warm, I mean like every single day is 80 or above. We still have some 70-degree days and 50-degree nights in here. So I think once it's like super, super warm consistently, I think they're all gonna just do great, knock on wood. So I'm really excited about that. And I say those are two things that are going really well. Now I said, what's one thing that didn't go so well? Well, one thing that as a gardener I'm still learning is that um because this is really only my second year trying to start everything from seed, like during the winter. So basically, starting my garden from seed inside of my house so that I could transplant them outside. This is my second year trying to do that. And one thing that I have to remember is that, and I forgot the word for it, there's an actual word for this. It's basically the process of when you slowly introduce your seedlings that were inside outside. You slowly bring them outside. So it's like you're supposed to do maybe like an hour, or maybe not even an hour, 30 minutes one day, then the next day an hour, then the next day 2 hours, and the next day 3 hours. And you're supposed to do that for like 2 weeks. So I didn't do that. So some of my plants, some of my seedlings didn't do so well because I didn't do that. And it's okay because I had started so many seedlings that I still have plenty to use, but about half of them just didn't do well when I put them outside because I didn't do that slow transition. There is a word, I can't think of it, but I didn't do that slow transition of moving my plants from inside to outside. And that just wasn't good because, your plants are going to get shocked. Like, that's not good. I do see there's a few people in the room. So, hi, people. Hi. Feel free to comment if you want to. And it's perfectly okay. You don't have to, but hey, I'm so happy to have you. And again, I know most people will watch this as a replay. So, if you're watching this as a replay, just let me know, like, what would be a good time. What would you think is a good time for me to go live when most people are like online and can, I guess, watch it live with me? Because I'm still learning. I don't think there's really a perfect time, but I'm still learning myself. So, yeah. But if you're watching this live, hi, and if you're watching the replay, just let me know in the comments. What do you think is a good time to go live so that you can get like live engagement? But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, that's something that didn't go as well as me not slowly transitioning my seedlings from the inside to the outside. That's something that I have to do better with, and that's just on me. So hopefully you all aren't like me in making those mistakes. So, and I'm sure you aren't doing that, but that was, sometimes I can be super impatient. Um So another thing I wanted to know is like, what is going on in your garden so far? Like, what's going on in regards to like what's going on? I mean, like, how is it looking right now? Are you steadfast in getting everything cleaned up for this growing season, or are you more so like relaxing and just taking it slow and trying to just wait until the weather is like perfect to put your seeds out? Like, what's going on in your garden? So if you're watching the replay, just comment and let me know, hey, this is what's going on in my garden. Like, my garden is taken off already. I know some people, we all are in different zones. So and of course, if you're not aware of what zones mean, zones can basically categorize what your climate is like in regards to what you can grow and how many plants you can grow, what season you can grow in. That's really what a zones are for. Garden zones are for. So I'm in garden zone 8A. It was 7B, now it's 8A. And I basically can grow pretty much most of the year except for winter. It's too cold. So my garden zone permit allows me to pretty much go ahead and get my plants out right now. But some people are in garden zones where they really have to wait a little bit longer, so they can't do that. So yeah, just let me know in the comments, what are you getting done in your garden, and what garden zone you're in. And yeah, like, that would be really nice for me to know. And in regards to planning for this season, I'm looking at my notes. That's why I'm looking down. In regards to planning for this season, what would you say that you still need? Like in regards to getting your garden started, what do you think that you still need? And if you do need it, like why don't you have it? For example, myself. Um, some seeds, some places where you get seeds, I don't know, sometimes the quality of the seeds may not be that great. And I say that because I had now also these seeds are a year old, but still a year isn't that long. But I have some super sweet 100 seeds that I really wanted to plant. Hi, people in the room. Hey, Happy Mac. Yay, thanks for watching my coneflower vid. How did you like the video? That's the short I think I made. There, those coneflowers are like halfway tall as me. I really wish I knew how to use this system because I would totally show a picture. Because I took pictures of it and me standing next to it, but I don't know how to upload a picture on here. But yeah, I'm so happy you watched that. That echinacea plant is, I'm not kidding you, it's like half as tall as me. It's crazy. Like, and I planted that from seed. Thank you so much. I planted that from, I think I only bought one of them as a transplant from a local nursery, but the majority of my echinaceas are from seed. And I just planted them last year. Hi, people in the room. I see more people. Hi. Feel free to say hi in the chat if you feel called to. You don't have to, just if you feel called to. But yeah, I'm so grateful that I have those coneflowers. They're so beautiful. Whenever I go out in my garden, like that's what I always look to. I'm like, coneflowers. They're so beautiful. But yeah, how are you? But yeah, this video is just like me talking about oh, thank you. I'm really trying to be better this year with I'm trying to be more intentional with planting beautiful, like someone that I like on YouTube that a lot of people like is Roots and Refuge, and she has this saying that I forgot. It's like plant something lovely or something like that, or grow something lovely. And so that is always like something that's in my mind. So when I go out in my garden, I try to think of like adding more color, because when you're deep into the season, so everything can be so green, which is beautiful, like so green, green plants, green grass. But I want like, hi. Okay, I think I should show. Okay, wait. Okay, I'm showing comments. Okay. I'm still learning how to use this. Okay, but yes, thank you, Happy Mac, for your wonderful comments on my echinacea plants. And Miss Lynette. Hi, Miss Lynette. Thank you so much. Oh, I love your channel too. Thank you so much. I appreciate you always engaging with my content. I really, 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 really appreciate it. And I hope you had a wonderful day today. And I hope you had a wonderful week. I don't know if you had a lot of storms where you were, but we had some storms here. So I hope you made it, I hope everything was okay with that. Especially if you live in like the South or the Midwest. Oh my goodness. It was hectic, right? But yeah, so everyone in the room, feel free to say hi if you want to. This is just a quick video just speaking about what we have going on in our gardens so far this like right now. Hi Gardener99. Hi Gardener99, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see everyone. But yeah, so we're just talking about what's going on in our gardens right now. Like right now, if I were to look in your garden, how, like, what is it, what's it like right now? Like, are you well prepared to plant your seedlings? Did you already get your seedlings planted out? Are you waiting to get your seedlings planted out because I don't know, it's not warm enough yet, or you just don't feel like doing it right now? Sure. Do you mind if I mention a channel you might like? She's likes planting her vegetables and flowers together. Works great. I never thought about beautiful day would be there. Yeah, sure. Let me know. And also, that's really good that you mentioned that, Happy Mac, because I like to do that sometimes as a way of companion planting. So I don't always do that just for the beautiful, just because it's beautiful, even though it is great to see plants and vegetables together. But sometimes like I'll put a marigold plant or a nasturtium plant near like uh my squash or something, because it helps to something with the pest. When you put some plants next to veggies, it helps to deter pests or something. Yay! Everyone's saying hey to each other. I love that. Catherine's Garden and Home. Do I follow her on YouTube? Do I already follow? I may or may not follow her. I don't know. I think I may, like, she has lots of pretty flowers, right? Like a cottage garden. Or am I thinking of somebody else? Because I think there's a woman who I do follow that maybe Catherine's Garden Home, and she has beautiful, like, it's like a cottage garden. It's so pretty, I think. Hi, Miss Lynette. We've had yes, heavy storms in North Carolina. Trees were ripped up and thrown across. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Miss Lynette. Oh, my buckets were empty and next door. I'm so sorry. These storms have been so for we've had so many of them. Like that's let's start with that. I think these past 2 weeks, I would say every other day has been a storm and a heavy storm. Last night was really rough and it was late in the evening, and I'm so sorry that you had to deal with that. These are the things that it's as a gardener, you just have to tell yourself you can only do so much, and all you can do is just pray, and you made it out safe, and that's what's important. You made it out safe. She's also a pastor. I can believe that because every time she speaks, she's just so calm. Catherine's, what is it, her Catherine's Garden Home. Excuse me. Every time she speaks, she's just so calm, and I just, I do like her channel. Yeah, yeah. I remember your garden was hit by a heavy freeze. Oh, yeah, Garden 99. How is your garden doing? I'm sorry that it had that heavy freeze. I'm so. That's the thing about like, how do you guys feel about like the weather? The weather just this past winter and with like the weather now, is it kind of hurting your plans for the garden in regards to you may have wanted to get your transplants out yesterday, but now you have to wait a little bit because the weather, like, has the weather patterns in any way kind of affected your garden planning? That's something that I want to know, because for me it kind of has. The weather has definitely kind of affected my garden plans. Amen. Yes, ma'am. You made it out safe, and that's all that matters. That is all that matters. No more than anything. That's all that matters. But yeah, these weather patterns are just intense. So I'm just happy that everyone made it out. Well, all of us made it out safe, and that's all we can do. But yeah, so I can clearly tell that the weather patterns have definitely affected us and what we can do for our garden. So when it comes to me, and I was talking with my dad. My dad is like my garden partner. He helps me in my garden a lot. And I was like, because the weather can be so back and forth, even in April, I was like, I don't know. Should I just wait and put out all my seeds and my transplants in May? Because I put them out like April the first week of April, super early, maybe like April 6th. I put all my stuff out and it's doing quite well, knock on wood. But we had some iffy weather at some point. It even got down to 40 something degrees at night in April. So I just asked my dad, maybe I should just put my seedlings out and direct sow my seeds in May. Like, don't do anything until May, because I feel like the weather can really dampen your garden plans and affect you. So I was like, what could I do to try to to better prepare. And I think be patient and don't put your plants out so soon. Do you all agree with that? Like, have you had to change course in regards to planning for your garden because of the weather? I live in upstate New York. It was oddly warm this past winter. I heard that, but it's been raining so much. I haven't planted yet. Yeah, I heard that New York has been like really warm this winter. Like, like I think I may be wrong, but I heard that you all didn't get as much snow as you normally do. I don't know if that was just for New York City as a whole, but yeah, like the weather is changing so much. The weather is changing so much. I hope that the rain kind of slows it down so you could actually get a chance to get out in your garden and just survey everything and get the stuff done that you need to do. I plan to plant next week. Planning heavy. Yay, Miss Lynette. That's awesome. I'm so happy that you're planning to plant next week. So what are you going to plant? I know that's like a crazy question to ask as a farmer and a gardener. Like I know there's tons of things that we want to plant, but like is there anything specifically that you want to plant or that you're excited to plant? Or are you just planting like a variety of everything? Yes, it's coming back. It happy. Yay! I'm so glad your garden is coming back. Gardener 99. Yay! I'm so happy that your garden is coming back. That's awesome. Starting over is my life story. Yeah, I understand. What garden zone are you in, Gardener 99? That's something that we just have to deal with as farmers, like with the weather. The weather changes so much. And like, what can you do? What can you do? The high today was 51. It gets still frost. And you're in upstate New York. It gets still frost. Hardly any snow. Only had to use the tractor to clear the driveway once. Wow. Wow. Well, I on one hand, it's like I'm glad that you're not getting as much snow because I know the snow can be so difficult to deal with. Like you can't sometimes people like I saw on the news, I think it was Buffalo, New York. They had so much snow that people would open up the doors, they couldn't even walk outside. So I'm happy that you're not getting that, but at the same time, we don't want you to have to still deal with frost, especially this late into the season. I want you to get your stuff out. Very good to hear. Yay! Yes, great to hear. I'm so happy that you get to start over at Gardener 99. I'm sorry that you had to deal with that in the first place, the frost. But you get to, your some of your plants are coming back, and that's good. Hey, Urban Sunflower Homestead. Hey, I love your channel so much. You have such good videos. I love your channel. This live is just really just us talking about what's going on in the garden so far. We've been talking about the weather and how the weather has affected us, mostly in negative ways. So yeah, like has the weather affected you? What zone are you in? Because we've been talking about the storms that been happening in the Midwest and the South. Have you been hit by those storms? Direct sowing seeds of yay! Direct sowing is so important. I wanted to direct sow, well, not direct sow. I started some half of what's in my garden. I started from in my home, and then I would say another portion of that was direct sowed, and a little bit of that I have transplants. So I may have gotten like 3 transplants from a local nursery. Most of them herbs. Most of the herbs that I have in my garden were transplanted because I need help with starting herbs from seed. New Orleans, Gardner 99. New Orleans is my favorite city. Oh, I'm not even kidding. I went to my first Mardi Gras this year. And the year before that, I visited just to visit. And then right after Mardi Gras, I went to French Quarter Fest. And then I want to go back. I want to go back next year for Jazz Fest. I love New Orleans. I love New Orleans so much. But you said you had a frost. So did New Orleans get a frost? What? Did you get a frost, Gardner 99 in New Orleans? Yes, urban flower over. Listen, It's been a long day. I can't say my words right. Urban Sunflower Homestead. I love your channel and I love your videos, genuinely. Thank you, friends. Thank you. Thank you so much. Your videos are great. Thank you for watching, Angel Girl. Thank you for being here. How was your day? I hope you're having a good day. Did you make it out the storms okay? I'm asking everyone, did they make it out the storms okay? Because the storms have been crazy these past few weeks. This past year, my growth zone was changed from 4A to 4B. Then it was 30 below zero. What? So I'm not trusting that at all. Honestly, I totally understand because I'm in Memphis, right? We were 7B, now we're 8A. And I was like, yay. So we're going to have like warmer weather, right? That's what I would assume. Why do we have a super cold winter? It got so cold that the weather was 9 degrees. It got so cold that the city, my city is so ridiculous. It was so cold that our infrastructure couldn't handle it. So they told us to ration our water, ration how much water we were using, ration how much electricity we were using because our power grid couldn't handle it. How ridiculous is that? Ugh. Everything from seed here. I love that. I love that you grow everything from seed. I love that. And you could save your seeds. So you could grow everything from seed and then save your seeds for next year and then keep growing everything from seed. I love that. Zone 7B, 8A, North Carolina. Me too, Miss Lynette. Me too. Did they change you from 7B to 8A like they did us in Memphis? Because we were 7B before and then they changed us to 8A. And we were like, okay. I'm in zone 7A. It's been raining for 2 weeks straight. I'm sorry. There are some areas in, is that St. Louis, with flooding, but not my area. My plants are stunted. Ugh. But brassicas and flowers are going well. Yeah, that's the thing about the rain. Sometimes when it comes to rain, clearly as farmers and gardeners, we love the rain. But when you get too much rain, no one wants that. Like, no one wants to deal with way too much rain. Like, so I totally understand what you're saying. It can stunt your plants, but the flowers will love it. So hopefully when the rain stops and the sun comes out, your garden is going to flourish. Yes, 2 years in a row. What? 2 years in a row? I'm so sorry. In New Orleans? That's crazy. That is, I'm like freezing New Orleans. In Louisiana. I'm sorry, Gardener 99. I love New Orleans. How was your garden? Thank you, Urban Sunflower Homestead. My garden is doing well. It's kind of like others' gardens. It's like things are doing well, but we're not having freezes, knock on wood. But we are having nights where it's still in the like low 50s, like tonight. Tonight, I think it's gonna get to like 54. Not great in regards to my plants being able to really take off. So some of them are just they're doing good. Like the past 2 days, we got some rain and the temperatures was in the 80s. So that kind of helped the plants. But then you have days like today when it's like low 70s, low 50s at night, and then it's going to get back to the 80s, and then you might have another day in the 70s. So my garden is doing well, but I think my plants could really take off if it were consistently warm, super, super warm, like my cucumbers. My cucumbers really need the warm weather, and my watermelons. My goodness, you're so close to 1,000 subs. Yay! Urban Sunflower Homestead. Woo! I hope you get to 1,000 subs. You deserve it. You deserve it. I really hope so. Thank you for shouting that out, Happy Mac. Thank you. Yes, I was nervous driving through the storm, but yes, I am good. Glad you're safe as well. Thank you, Angel Girl. I'm so happy that you're safe as well. Like I said before, like the garden is so important for us, and it's so exciting to talk about gardening and even to keep up with our garden. But the thing that's the most important is that when we have heavy storms like we've been having, that you all make it out okay and that you all make it out safe. And just like Garden 99 said, it's not fun to start over, but we can always do it. We can always do it. We are just getting over our tornado and hurricane. Oh, when was the tornado? I think was that what is it? Was that tornado in like April, like late mid-April? I only asked that because I was in New Orleans for French Quarter Fest, and the day before I got there, I think there was a tornado in Slidell. I think that's how you say it, Slidell, Louisiana. I think someone said there was a what do I want to say hurricane, a tornado in Slidell, Louisiana, and that was like the day before I got there. I'm sorry that y'all have to deal with that. Ugh. I pray that the hurricane season will be minimal. I pray that everything will be okay. I pray that no matter what, you all and your family make it out safe. Amen. I was so sorry to see your sad face when your trees got free. Oh, I'm sorry. Frost in New Orleans. I'm shocked. But they came back. Exactly. Exactly. Yay! When the weather is nice, then we have a squirrel problem. Always, you have a squirrel problem? Like, do they try to get in your, like, they try to eat your plants or something? What exactly do the squirrels do? Garden 99? About 4 weeks ago. Yeah, I think Gardener 99. Yep, slide down. I'm so sorry, Gardener 99. Mm-hmm. It was Slidell because it was right around French Quarter Fest time. Because when I was trying to fly the day after that, and it was hard to fly because of the tornadoes, and they said it was in Slidell. I'm so sorry that you have to deal with that. That's horrible. Well, let's get to some positive things, okay? The weather can really take a lot out of people. Okay, so positive things. What are you looking? Yes, to eat all my watermelons. What? I didn't know squirrels like to eat watermelons. You know what? Squirrels like to eat everything. Squirrels would get in and eat everything. I wonder if there's something you can do to deter squirrels. Do you think hot pepper spray would work on them? My dad made hot pepper spray once, and that seemed to work really well, but that was mostly for like what did we use that for? Was it the squirrels? I think it was the squirrels, but it wasn't really in my garden. It was in my mom's garden because they tried to dig up her pepper bed, and so we made some hot pepper spray. I think that helped. Have you tried that? But okay, let's talk about something really positive and not the weather, because the weather is just like getting on all of our nerves. You need some fox. I feed my fox chicken sandwiches, and they keep the chipmunks and squirrels away. What? The fox on my thumbnail is Chubba. She's a good girl. You have foxes? I live in the city, so we don't have foxes. That's really cool. Happy Mac? Try a solar animal alarm for squirrels. It worked well for me. Wow, I might have to write that down because my mom hates the squirrels. I'm gonna write that down. Solar animal alarm. I've never heard of that. So you're saying it helps keep the squirrels away? Urban sunflower? Wow. I try everything. Yeah. I really hope like this. I hope that everything is just better this year. I hope that the hurricane season is not little to no existent. And I hope the storms don't bother you anymore and that these squirrels leave you alone. And it's just going to be an easy season because I know y'all deal with a lot in Louisiana. Okay, positive things. What is something that you're super excited to grow this year? What is something that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so super excited to grow this year? Like, you're so excited to grow. I have like two things. Two things. I have a solar alarm. That's cool. I've never heard of. Y'all are teaching me something. I'm very grateful. I've never heard of a solar alarm. That's awesome. I'm really gonna try and look up a solar alarm because although I do have some squirrels, they don't really bother my garden. I don't know why, knock on wood. I'm very grateful for that. But they do get into my mom's garden really bad. They get into her front flower beds. They get into her backyard, like vegetable beds. She has mostly like peppers and tomatoes. They get into her stuff really bad, and I hate that. So I'm going to tell that to her to get a solar, it's called solar animal alarm. Absolutely. But yes, okay, happy things. What are you super excited to grow this year in your garden more than anything? Super excited to grow. Chicago fig trees. They had them at Walmart for $10 and I got two. Something different. That is so cool. Chicago fig trees. I think I've only had a fig once and they were so delicious. So delicious. That's so awesome that you got them. They were only $10 at Walmart. I need to go to Walmart. I'm excited for you. I hope you get a great harvest. That is awesome. Fruit trees are really awesome, Happy Mac, because they can give you so many, like such an abundance of harvest that you have like food for days. Urban sunflower. I'm excited about growing hibiscus and watermelon in my green stalks. Watermelon in your green stalks? I'm amazed. You can grow them in green stalks, huh? That is awesome. I love hibiscus. In fact, I have some hibiscus tea in my fridge. I love hibiscus so much. It's like one of my favorite. Ugh, I love it so much. I wish I could have the hibiscus plant, but like I said, we have frost here and it's gotten so ridiculously cold. So I'm like, I don't think I can have the hibiscus because I wouldn't know what to do with it in the winter. Like, what do I do with the hibiscus plant in the winter? I don't know. Like, bring it inside? Believe it or not, I'm not good with houseplants. I'm good with the outside plants. I'm good with the farm and the garden. But inside plants, I have a lot to learn. Let me say that. Let me not say I'm not good with it. Let me say I have a lot to learn about having inside plants. Thank you. I don't know how long it'll take, but I can't wait to try a fresh fig. Yes, I'm sure won't take too long. When I got my peach trees, I actually got a small harvest that season. Like I got her from what store did I get it from? Was it Sprouts? I got them from Sprout. No, no. I got them from a local nursery, my peach trees. I forgot what variety they are. And I got an amazing harvest in um one season. But of course, as the seasons go on, your harvests get bigger and bigger. Okay, so now let me tell you what I'm super excited to grow. I'm super excited to grow watermelons, of course. I love watermelons. And last year I grew one yellow meat melon only because my dad kept begging me to grow it. And I was like, no, Dad, I don't want to grow a yellow meat melon. Like, what is a yellow meat melon anyway? Because I didn't know. And when I tell you, first of all, it was huge. I wish I could show you the picture. I'm gonna learn how to put pictures on the screen. It was huge, okay? Not even kidding, like this wide, this long. And it was so delicious and sweet. It tasted like candy. The most delicious melon I've ever had. And it was specifically the variety was yellow crimson sweet. Yellow crimson sweet. I'm excited about that. I'm also excited about my herbs because herbs have been hard for me to grow. So if I can just get a few herbs to be successful this season, I will be so happy. And I just want to smell my herbs and make tea. Happy Mac, you can have a hibiscus. Yes, I hope so. We grow them here, but you need one rated for your zone. Okay. So some hibiscus varieties are better for certain zones. Like, can some hibiscus varieties survive a hard freeze? Can they survive a hard freeze? Because we've been having at least one random hard freeze every year. It's horrible. I'm actually going to grow my hibiscus as an annual. Okay. I started seeds January 31st, which I would have started it sooner. It's growing in. That's really smart. So that is so smart. So you're saying that you know that it's not going to be able to make it through the winter, so you're just gonna like just like our marigolds, just start them over again each season. That's really smart. Well, gosh darn it, I should have did that. But here's me. See, I don't think like that. I just gave up. I was like, well, if I can't keep it alive throughout the winter, then how am I going to do it? That's smart. Happy Mac, I love watermelons. Me too. What variety of melons do you like? Because I like the yellow meat. What variety do you like? Because I love the yellow meat melons. But I'm also gonna try the orange meat, and I think the variety I can't pronounce it. Orange yellow. I think that's what it's called. I want to try that too. The retired gardener evening chat. Hi, retired gardener. How are you doing tonight? Hello. How are you? Did you have a good week? How's the weather where you are? Yes. Hello. Greetings. I'll be happy when my spinach and zucchini come up. Me too. Yes, we have a hibiscus in New York. Can stand. What? Oh my gosh, you just made my day. I'm not even kidding. What? What variety, please? What variety? And it's probably too late for me to get it because we're already in May. But what variety is it? Oh my gosh. Because the one that I had, I don't know what variety it was, but it clearly wasn't the variety for my zone. Because it was the first sign of a small frost, that thing died and it won't even try to come back. It's still out in my garden and it's not even trying to come back. I have to get rid of it. Wow. What variety? I don't know what variety. Hello. Yes. Greetings, everyone. So, the retired gardener, we were speaking about what's the most important, um, what's the not important, what's the most exciting plant that we are growing this year? So, what's the thing that you're really excited to grow? See y'all later. Bye, Gardener99. Thank you for showing up. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I'm really praying for you. You're going to have a good growing season. I know it. A great growing season. I love the yellow, but they're hard to find here. I finally learned how to tell when a watermelon is ripe on the vine. So I'm trying to grow myself. What methods do you use when you try to find out how the melon is ripe on the vine? Because I have my ways of trying to figure it out. But what do you do when you try to figure it out? Yes, bye Gardner99. Thank you. Isn't this cute? But yeah, what methods do you use when you're trying to figure out how a melon is ripe? Because I have my ways, but I don't know how you try to figure out yours. Yeah. And also, aside from talking about what we're super excited to grow this year, what is something that you would say that you're just like not excited to grow? Like, aside from thinking of something that you're really excited to grow, what's something that you're like either not going to grow ever again or you just don't want to grow because of just a more simple reason? Like, what's one thing that you're just like not growing that ever again? Never again. What would you say? I watched Broke Farmer and he said about that little curly pigtail looking thing that grows next to the watermelon. Yes, yes. When it turns brown and dries, the melon is ready. Yes, that's what my dad and I were thinking about too. I forgot what that's called, but it's like that little curly thing. Yeah. And also that too. But also I read that if when you look at the actual melon itself, if there's like a big yellow patch on it, like a big spot, a big yellow spot on it, I heard that's a good sign that it's ready as well. But that's just what I heard. I've only tried to grow watermelons twice, and last year was the first year of being somewhat successful. So this year, I'm going to have to try both of those again. I'm going to have to try looking at the little curly pigtail and waiting for it to dry out. And then I'll have to try looking for a big spot on the melon itself, like a big spot on it to see how that does as well. Absolutely. But yeah, so thank you for answering those questions. If there's another question you guys want to answer, what are you not looking forward to growing this year? So aside from something that you are looking forward to growing, what are you not looking forward to growing? Like no more. I'll go first. Got some more eyebrow. So one year I grew these. It was called a lemon cucumber. I got one lemon cucumber plant, and I think I've told this story before on YouTube. I got one lemon cucumber plant, And I promise you, it was just one. My dad says it clearly was more than one because but it was one. And we put it in the garden, and I kid you not, we got about 100 of these little lemon cucumbers off of one plant. Mind you, we've never had a lemon cucumber before, but we decided to get it because this was our first season growing, and we were just really overly excited, and we were just getting all kinds of random things, including this lemon cucumber. We put one in the ground. We got at least 100 throughout the season from like May to September. And it was too much. We ended up giving most of them away. And then we don't till anymore. But at the time, my dad was using a tiller. So at the end of the season, we thought we took everything out of the bed, and so my dad tilled the soil so that it can get soft, and we could plant stuff for the fall. Um, why did I don't know. He must have left one or two lemon cucumbers in the ground, and so when he tilled over it, all the seeds are basically just like massaged into the soil. And then we got some rain, and I had hundreds of little lemon cucumber seedlings in the ground, and I had to single-handedly pick them all out. Pick them all out. Never again. Never again. Never growing. I don't even want to look at a lemon cucumber. I don't want to look at a lemon cucumber. Never again in life. Horrible. I'm not growing radishes for anyone anymore. I don't like them, but everyone says they like them, so I grew them. But they didn't eat them like they liked them, right? People say they like things, and when you grow it for them, they don't eat it. They just sat there, wasted time and space. I absolutely agree. I think I've only had radishes like when I go out to eat and they're in their little salads, but I've honestly never truly cooked with radishes. Um my mom has never really cooked with radishes. I don't even know if aside from eating them when I go out to eat, I don't think I've ever genuinely enjoyed a radish, so I wouldn't grow them. But I do know that when it comes to beginner gardeners and they ask what's something that I could grow as a beginner gardener, a lot of people do say radishes because I think radishes are just one of the easiest things to just like the skill that it requires and the time that goes into it and all that. I think it's really quick to grow and it's not very fussy. But that being said, I don't really care for radishes, so I completely agree with you. I don't want to grow radish. I wouldn't want to grow them either, especially if you're growing radishes for other people and they don't really appreciate it. It's like, why am I growing it? Has there ever been something like my story, like you don't want to grow up because of like a freak accident, like getting too many of one harvest that you're like traumatized? Like, there's too much, I can't handle it. Right, yeah. They're taught exactly. Like, I don't want to grow things. One, if you're growing something for other people and they don't seem to reciprocate the appreciation by actually eating the harvest of what you grew, that can be really frustrating. And then you always want to grow something that you genuinely like to eat. Like, you know, that you actually know that you want to consume it. Don't be like me when I was first gardener. I was like, ooh, I could grow this. Ooh, I could grow this. Ooh, I could grow this. I was growing things that I don't even eat. Eggplants, exactly. I don't want to grow eggplants either. Because I'm like, even though they are beautiful, they're beautiful to look at. But it's like, but I don't even really eat them unless I'm going to a restaurant and I get eggplant parmesan. But I'm not gonna grow like a bunch of eggplant just to like make eggplant parmesan every once in a while. Yeah. And then I was so silly. The first time I grew eggplant, it wasn't the thick variety. I think the thick variety of eggplant is called Black Beauty variety. I grew the skinny eggplant. It was so skinny. And I'm like, why did I grow this variety? Not that I like eggplant, but if I was going to eat eggplant, I wanted to be the thick variety. I grew the skinny variety. And I was like, ugh, yeah. I've learned some lessons. Only growing what I eat. Exactly. Only grow what you eat. I think that's so important. Like, if there was anything I could tell new gardeners, it's only grow what you eat. Only grow what you eat. Next year, I will not grow as much eggplant or radishes. Yep. I never grew radishes, but I grew lots of eggplant. The first year I really had my garden and I grew the skinny kind of eggplant. I got so many harvests off that tree, off the plant that I didn't know what to do. And I just gave them to my neighbors because I don't even eat eggplant like that. And I got so many harvests. But if I were to speak to a new gardener and say, hey, what should I grow? Or they ask me, what should I grow? I'm like, well, if you like eggplants and if you like radishes, but only if you like them. I know enough not to plant more than six zucchini plants now. So many zucchini. I run out of people to give them to. That is so funny because I think I may have had 5 zucchini plants in one raised bed. That's insane. Um, these plants got so big that I couldn't really see in between them, right? So I was like, I wasn't able to harvest them in time. There was one time, I'm not kidding you, I had a zucchini plant that was like this, like okay, let me see. Here's one hand, like this long, like this, about as big as my screen. One zucchini plant. That was insane. 4 is enough for me. 4 zucchini plants is enough for me. I gave it away to neighbors and took it to work. Pepper the same. Yes. I love my peppers, but if what is it called? When you cut the top of your pepper plant, it makes it become more bushy and makes you have more harvest. When you do that, you'll get a lot of peppers on one plant. Top off your peppers. When you top off your peppers, you'll get a lot of peppers on one plant. And sometimes if you have more than one plant or a bunch of plants, a bunch of pepper plants, that could be a lot of peppers. Yeah. Give it away to neighbors. That's the best thing to do. Just give it away to neighbors. Yes. Hello, Happy Mac. I like to experiment with new vegetables. No, absolutely. Hi, Miss Wondercar Jones. Absolutely. Experimenting is always really fun. Especially like this year, I'm experimenting with a different kind of basil that I've never tried, holy basil. So that's cool. Have you all ever tried holy basil? And thank you for being here, Miss Jones. The first time I grew peppers, my yield was crazy. That's awesome. I took a large bag of peppers to my coworker. That's beautiful. I gave some things to my coworkers. That's always a good feeling. It's such a blessing that you got peppers the first time you grew them and a large yield of peppers. I think peppers are one of the hardest things to grow. I would argue of all the things to grow, I think peppers are one of the hardest things to grow. I would. So the fact that you got such a large yield and a large harvest is such a blessing. I know it was probably overwhelming. I'm happy you were able to help your coworkers and give them some things that aren't sold in our grocery stores. Absolutely, I agree. Especially when it comes to like the cool varieties or like the heirloom varieties, like even tomatoes. Something as simple as tomatoes can be so exciting because there are so many varieties of tomatoes. Like, there's the yellow varieties, the dark red, the purple, the striped varieties. It's really cool. I love experimenting with different varieties of certain plants. Yeah. I'm going to try to focus more energy on fruit trees and bushes. Absolutely. Perennial veggies too, like walking onions and black salsify. That is amazing. I agree with trying to grow more perennials. So of course, I'm trying to focus on herbs too because herbs are so expensive. Herbs are so expensive. It is insane. So this year, I want to try and grow garlic and onion. I have some onion in the garden right now, but I want to try and really focus on growing more of it and growing garlic, onion, ginger, celery. Those are the herbs I literally use the most of, and I really want to try and grow them So that's something that I really want to have like a stash of. If there's anything that I have a stash of in my house, it's herbs because they're expensive and I use a lot of them. Yes, hello, Miss Jones. I have 3 basils growing. Again, I over. That's funny. But hey, it's basil. Like basil smells so good and it's a good companion plant. So even if you don't really use all your basil, if you put it like next to a tomato, it can be a good companion plant just for your tomatoes. They help each other out. Yeah, exactly. I'm growing purple basil, lemon basil, sweet basil. Oh, basil. I bet that smells so good. I bet that smells so good. Do you like to make tea with it? I saw someone online make some type of tea with basil. It was quite interesting. What all do you use with for your basil? What all do you use? Why? When I say I'm not going to overdo what I do. That's true. I get it. I get it. I overdo it too, honestly. I overdo it too, especially when it comes to my tomatoes. I probably have 10. No, I have over 10. I have I probably have about 16 tomato plants in my garden right now. 16. So trust me, I'm like the queen of overdoing it. And I've got to learn my lesson. I have learned my lesson about like when it comes to like squash. I don't overdo it with the squash anymore, and I don't overdo it with the melons, and I don't overdo it with the cucumbers. But I still overdo it with the tomatoes. Hi everyone. Hi Miss Jones. I need to dry my basil. Yeah, that would be cool. Drying your basil is great because even if you grow too much, drying it, it'll last you for months, and you could just easily use it throughout the season, especially in the winter. In the winter, when we're like just cooped up in the house, freezing, and but still wanting to have like fresh food, just get you some dry basil and make you some pasta or something. I grew a lot of onions and garlic. Yes, that's awesome. That's what I want to do, the retired gardener. That's what I want to do. Because, right, we speak about growing what you eat what you grow. Onions, garlic, celery, ginger. I cook with those all the time. All the time. And when I go to the grocery store, it genuinely makes me so sad with how expensive it is. If you find out why, you go ahead and tell me why I overgo. Because we just love our garden. We just love it, guys. We love being out in the garden. I don't know, it's exciting. But yeah, when you find out, let me know too. Plus, you can companion plant herbs with other vegetables and beans. Exactly. Exactly. Herbs are so good for companion planting. I don't know if even with animals, like because we have some cats in our neighborhood, and I think like they don't even like the smell of herbs too. Ever since I put my herbs out, I haven't seen as many. It's like certain animals are deterred by the smell of herbs, certain pests are deterred by the smell and taste of herbs. So I think they can be really good companion plants, especially garlic. I follow the New Orleans gardener. She's awesome. And I think she said plenty of times that she uses onions and garlic to deter pests. It does smell wonderful. I know it does. I know it does. Oh, it smells like heaven. That's why we overgrow because sometimes it just smells so good when you have 3 basil plants. It helps to reduce pest pressure in our gardens. Exactly. That's another reason why I want to start growing onions and garlic. Aside from the fact that I want to consume it, without having to spend so much money at the grocery store, it is also good to reduce pest pressure. I might go ahead and try to put some onions and by my squash if I still have time. I use everything baked chicken spaghetti. Yes, awesome. Basil on everything. I love it, especially spaghetti. Especially spaghetti. Put it in that pasta sauce. I agree. That's one thing I like to do with most of when I get a big harvest of tomatoes and then I get some basil, And then I'll get like some onions. I'll make me a homemade tomato sauce. Absolutely. And then I'll keep it in the freezer. So when it's in the like when I'm deep into winter, but I want something fresh, I will pull out that pasta sauce and make me something. It is so good. There's nothing like homegrown tomatoes and basil and homegrown herbs in general. I think the sun comes out and we get so happy. We just drop the we just drop those seeds. And on my oh my goodness, I planted way too many tomatoes. Me too. Me too. I'm not even kidding you. I think I have 16 tomato plants. I'm doing better with my squash. I'm doing better with not overdoing cucumbers. But I literally have a lot of tomato plants. I just love them. But you can make pasta sauce with them. So it's not too bad. If you have a lot of tomato plants, if you get a big harvest, just make some sauce and freeze it. That reminds me that I won't be growing spaghetti squash again either. It's not spaghetti. I was hoping it was more like spaghetti. Honestly, I've never grown spaghetti squash. I would assume it's like spaghetti-ish. It's not like spaghetti-like. Well, that's really weird. Why would they name it that? I would assume it's like spaghetti-like. I don't blame you for that, Happy Mac. Exactly. That's why I haven't seen any more wildcats. Ugh, carpenter. Oh God, don't even speak about the carpenter bees and wasps. I'm so terrified of wasps. I'm doing better with the bees because I understand bees have a purpose. But it's like when they fly right by your ear, it just ooh. But I'm coming better with that. But the wildcats and the wasps, I hate. So it's good to know that if you put more herbs down, that it will deter them. 'Cause I need that. Yep. People lie to me. Listen, they will do that. They'll say one thing on a variety of plants. They'll say one thing and then it's something else. Like they'll name a variety something and you're like, this doesn't even make sense. They do that all that time. False advertising. False advertising. All the time. The onions and garlic prepare them. I'm gonna do it. Because we have cats. Like wild cats. It's ridiculous. Onions and garlic, absolutely. Well, yes. Okay, so that was such a good conversation. I'm so happy. And I'm so happy. Like, I just wanted to have this so we could talk about what we're excited about in the garden and like what we're excited to grow and how things are going. And like, I'm just so happy that we're able to have this conversation. Like, that's really good. So, we've been here for just about over an hour. So, I don't want to keep y'all too long. So, I'll probably get ready to go. But your corn is doing well. Have you ever struggled with going with growing corn? Have you ever struggled with growing corn? Because I've struggled with growing corn. It was great visiting with you all. Thank you. Yes, no, thank you, Happy Mac. Thank you. And I don't want to keep y'all too long. I know we've all had a long day at work. But quick question. Quick question. When it comes to going live, do you like going live like on Friday nights and stuff like this? Do you like going live on like a Friday night at the end of the week like this? And if so, what time do you think would be like really good to go live? Like, that's what I want to know. And even the people watching the replay, even my subscribers who are watching the replay, what time do you think would be a great time to go live? Do you like going live on Friday evenings? And if so, is this a good time or would you suggest an earlier time or a later time? Yes, the last time I tried growing corn was 2000. Wow, that's awesome. Well, the fact that you're growing it again is awesome. Like that's amazing. I've struggled with growing corn. I don't know why. I know you really have to pay attention to how you pollinate. I plant my corn. See, I'd have to. We're so flat where I'm at. Everything is so flat, but I guess I could make a hill-like structure to plant the corn. I could try it 'cause I love to make my own healthy popcorn. Good. This is good for California. Yes, 7 p.m. Okay, good. So would that be Central? 7 p.m. Central? 5 p.m. It's great to end the week talking about something. Okay, 5 p.m. Okay. A time that is good. Thank you, Miss Jones. Thank you. I appreciate that. A time that is good for me. Well, thank you. Well, I'm definitely going to keep Friday evenings on for the chat. That is, I'm going to keep that for sure. Well, thank y'all. Like I said, I'm not going to keep y'all too long. I know that got it. Got it. California. Yeah, so that would be, you said the retired gardener, you said this is good for perfect. Perfect. And so 7 p.m. Eastern is 6 p.m. Central. Perfect. I love it. Well, good. I'm going to keep this time because it's good for everybody in all of our different time zones. So that's good. Eastern time zone and Central time zone and all the others. I'm really happy. Well, thank y'all for joining me. I really appreciate you, Miss Lynette, the retired gardener, Miss Jones. Who else was in the room? Happy Mac. I know a few people left, but thank y'all so much for coming. And I hope you have a great evening. And I hope you have a great weekend. Just plant the corn in a circle about 10 inches apart. This was a good time. I will do that. I may or may not have time this year to find some space for it, but I'll try to do it next season if anything. You saw me at Home Depot. Just click Nick. What? So you must be in the Memphis area. You saw me at the Home Depot. You too. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have an awesome week. You too. Thank y'all for joining. And like I said, I don't want to keep you too long. So I'm so grateful that y'all joined my live. Okay. So you all have a great evening. Well, that's awesome, Nick. I didn't know I had some people who were in the Memphis area. That's awesome. I'm so happy that you could well, I wish you would have said hey because I didn't see you. Say hey next time. It's okay. I'm always at the Home Depot. Bye. Thanks so much for coming. Well, Nick, I've been here for you're in Mississippi. Ah, you're in Mississippi. I love Mississippi. My family is from Byhalia, Mississippi. Thank y'all. Yes, next time say hey, Nick. Okay, say hey so that we can speak. But yeah, thank y'all so much for coming out. I hope you had a good week, and I hope you have a good weekend. I'm gonna go ahead and go because I know you've had a long day, and I've had a long day. But I enjoyed you. I'm not sure when I'll do this again, but if I do, it'll be around the same time on a Friday evening. Okay. Bye.